Hello viewers, welcome to online webinar conducted by Fiverr to Fashion in the first virtual trade fair of Fiverr to Fashion, and we, myself Jayanta Sanyal and my colleague Caroline Rose is representing WEKO, the Whitman and Conrad GmbH and Company KG, or WEKO in short. So today we have a topic from Fiverr to Fashion, which is Innovation Forum, upcoming technologies in printing and production. To have a discussion today on all possible new technologies, products, practices, machineries that are meant to benefit the textile and apparel industry. And from WEKO, we focus today weight processing with minimum pickup. Now, we as WEKO people, we have a philosophy in our organization: respect, responsibility, and revolution. We have a vision that we have to respect the people, the society, the process, and this is the responsibility for us to keep our mother earth with its people safe and sound. And that's why we are developing revolutionary process, and that revolutionary process we will explain today how WEKO is stepping in to work directly on sustainability and together towards a more sustainable textile industry is our dream, and that we are today to explain to you. Now, sustainability doesn't mean that we have to use always a recycled polyester or a recycled plastic bottles, better cotton initiative, or organic cotton, or something like that. So these are a part of sustainability. But our main focus of sustainability is coming from a different aspects or different angle. Here, our sustainability concept is coming. How can we work together to save our mother earth by reducing the uses of chemicals, auxiliary energy, and other resources? So, let's come to the topic. The textile industry is one of the longest and most complicated industrial chains in manufacturing sector. It involves natural and synthetic fibers, which in turn is involving agricultural and chemical industries, machineries, dyes and chemicals, apparel industries, retail and service sectors. So in each type of manufacturing process, there is a generation of waste. So waste management and waste treatment are very important in the entire process steps. Now, in textile, the end product is an apparel. So when there is a apparel that you and me both are wearing apparel at the end, but to make an apparel, what stages we are going through? So we have the raw material. The raw material can be natural resources or the synthetic resources. Then we convert the raw materials to the natural and synthetic fibers. Then we are producing yarn, filaments, and fabric. Wet, when the fabric is prepared, then the fabric is going for the wet treatment, like pre-treatment, dyeing, printing, and finishing. Once the fabric is finished, then the fabric is going to the garment manufacturing, and garment is prepared, then the fabric is consumed, and after the consumption there is finally a waste formation. So in the each step of this process, there are the additives like dyes, other additives, auxiliaries, water, etc. is required for each step, and each step is finally emitting some of the energy in the atmosphere, and that is causing the global warming of our mother earth. Textile processing today, there are a huge major concerns. Now, what should be our aim? We have to minimize the pollution, the air, water, and soil pollution are the main thing. Then we have to use the optimization of the resources like raw material, energy, water, and chemicals. Worker safety is a very important thing, and waste reduction and control. So in each stage, as I told before, that there is a generation of waste like raw material, dyes and chemicals, energy, water, and finished goods. In the textile value chain, as we can see that it's having a different stage. Like if we are talking about cotton textile, then it's a cotton cultivation, spinning, weaving or knitting, wet processing, then garment making. I don't want to go in each single micro step, but if we divide it in this way, we can see that there is a impact on the environment in in a various area like water, effluent, energy, chemistry, land, and society. So if we consider that there is no effect or very minimum effect, then it has no color. Moderate effect is green, large effect is blue, and a very large effect is red. So since we are discussing today about the weight processing technology, then I am focusing here the weight processing only. And here we can see that it this process has a very big impact on water water pollution. It's having a big impact on effluent. It's a very big impact on the uses of chemicals and auxiliaries. It has a moderately very big impact of energy consumption, and finally it has a very big impact on society. Now we all know that textile weight processing is basically consisting of three different stages. One is preparatory chemical process, which is mercerizing, scouring, bleaching, sizing, etc. Then fiber, yarn and fabric dyeing, and fabric printing, coating and finishing. So all these chemical processes are having an effect of chemical consumption, use of some chemical, use of water, and thus is having an impact on the society. So to reduce these type of chemicals, the water and the energy should be the priority for the textile industry today. In textile wet processing, use of chemicals in everywhere. So there are different processes, as you know: spinning, weaving, knitting, sizing, desizing, scouring, bleaching, mercerizing, dyeing and printing and finishing. So we can see that in all the process, we are using and adding some of the chemicals for the sake of the process. Like in the spinning, we are using spinning oil, knitting oil. In sizing, we are using starch, polyacrylate, polyvinyl alcohol, carboxymethyl cellulose, etc. In desizing and scouring, we are using enzymes, starch, ammonia, disinfectants, then sodium hydroxide, surfactant, soap, etc. In bleaching and mercerizing, we are using bleaching agent like hydrogen peroxide, hypochlorite, sodium hydroxide, and the other process like dyeing, printing, and finishing, we are using dyes, pigments, salt, alkali, metals, and finishing, we are using different finishing agents. Some of them are like resin, softener, antimicrobial, fire retardant, soil release chemistries, and fluorocarbon, something like that. Now, this chemistry, this use of chemical is inevitable to produce a textile fabric. How we can reduce the use of this huge amount of chemicals and the water in the production of a textile fabric? That is the goal, and that is the application with minimum pickup. So we all together started thinking how we can do that. So five experts for one mission, we started thinking and we developed a sustainable textile process with minimum pickup. Our partners, Lylan Wise, Dr. Petre, Textile Auxiliaries, Archroma, Polychin Corporation, and WEKO. We shook our hands and we found a way how we can use that. The purpose of such a think tank was to create sustainable textile dyeing and finishing process, saving our valuable resources like water, energy, raw materials, reducing uses of chemicals and auxiliaries, create new application in textile which never thought before, which is a single side or double side application, eliminating problems of the traditional padder finishing. As we all know that in our conventional process of padding, we have several type of problems day in day out we are facing. So we want to get rid of this type of problem. So we thought of this, that how we can eliminate the problems of the traditional padder finishing, and we need a simpler process. So the process simplification and exact repeatability. So exact repeatability means what you produce today, you produce tomorrow, you produce next month, and you produce next year. Same product, same process, same reproduction.
With the new rotor spray dyeing and finishing technique, we like to begin a new era in sustainable textile finishing. A strong partner for your business. According to your needs, WEKO offers specific solutions for your production process, which is the WEKO Sigma, WEKO Protec, or WEKO Neo. The WEKO Sigma is our long experience rotor carrier, mostly used in moistening and other finishes. WEKO Protec is our encapsulated system, especially for functional wet finishing, for safe working environment and non-contact application. And WEKO Neo is our rotor spray and dyeing finishing system, is also an encapsulated system with the WEKO triple C effect, which is contact-free, chemical savings, and cost reduction, especially for high-quality wet finishing and denim slasher dyeing by non-contact application. So, WEKO rotor atomizing technique, spray technique, wet finishing, how it works. First of all, you can see here the rotor disc, which is turning or spinning. This is getting fed by the liquid. So the liquid is distributed to the edge of the rotor disc, then is forming a long thread, and if the cohesive force is no more enough, it gets separated into droplets. These droplets get sprayed out onto the web. Here you can see an example of the droplet formation with water. So the droplet formation is one big droplet and two small. This is very specific for water. So you can see here, this is an overfeed of the rotor, so which means that the rotor is getting too much liquid. So our aim with the WEKO systems is to create micro droplets, which are much more bigger than aerosols. Here you can see a comparison of the WEKO system created microdroplets, which are much more bigger in volume. So these microdroplets have enough kinetic energy to fly onto the web material. So it means that they fly where they have to fly and not are somewhere in the air. So with this video, we like to show the working principle that you all can understand in a better way. So you can see that here the liquid supply is coming through the tubes. Every chamber is fulfilled, then shutter opens and the spray is coming out through the windows onto the vertical running web. Every second rotor is on different height so that the spray fan doesn't collapse and there is a smooth and reproducible spray. So here you can see the uniform flow of the microscopical small droplets, the thread that is formed, and here the droplets that are formed from the thread. So now that is coming the web in the vertical, the spray is flying, or the droplets at least are flying onto the web and getting absorbed there.
We are now coming to explain the WFA system, adjustable penetration. We have just seen that how the WEKO rotor carriers are producing the micro droplets, which are much bigger than the aerosols, and these micro droplets are applying on the surface of the material web. This application can be controlled by the WEKO rotor system. Normally, in a conventional squeezing system, when you are applying a pressure on the squeezing roller, in the padder, then you see that almost whenever you are pressing with a 2, 3, 4 bar of the pressure at that time, all the liquids is going from the surface to the core, and the liquid is having 100%, almost 100% of penetration. With WEKO rotor system, you decide how much you want to penetrate. If you want a simple surface action or the application only on surface, you reduce the quantity of the spray and you apply just on the surface. If you want a slight more penetration to have a wash durability, you can go a little bit more. In this way, it's your freedom that how much you want the liquid on the surface or inside the core of the web. So you can have the exactly the same result like the padder by increasing your amount of the spray. But if you don't want, you just want to apply on the surface, you apply on the surface and that's it. So we have already gone through our three different type of application system. The first one is Rotor Carrier Sigma. This Rotor Carrier Sigma is a his is a the Rotor Carrier Sigma we are producing and supplying to our customers for a very long period of time. It's very common, very famous for the water spray in the finishing field of textile. Still, Rotor Carrier Sigma is very popular not only in the textile but also in other industries, and you have the benefits of very simplicity, that means easiness to handle. We have very high availability, we have long maintenance window, and it's very fast cleaning. The next offer of WEKO to the textile industry is WEKO Protect. WEKO Protect is a horizontal spray application on the vertical web. It's an encapsulated system. Normally, this WEKO Protect is designed to spray the harmful chemicals which is polluting the air and the working atmosphere. The slippery product that can, if it is spilling out, and then there is a problem for the work people to work on that particular area, like lubricant. We also have something which, if there is a very high amount of uh, liquid available in the flying in the air, this is very harmful for the human body, like silver chemistry or fluorocarbons, etc. So to apply this type of chemicals, we can use you WEKO Protect. And we all know that different countries work protection has different limit, maximum limit in the air of these chemicals, the presence of these chemicals. So we can use all these chemicals without affecting the quality of the fabric in a much safer way by using WEKO Protect. In short, the customer benefits of this capsulated contactless application: no contact to the web material, no contamination of the applied liquid, exact presetting of the application amount, even an uniform application also in the case of very minimum application, and health protection. The last and the latest development of WEKO is WEKO Neo, WEKO Triple C effect: contact free, chemical savings, and cost reduction. Our aim for a sustainable textile production with minimum pickup. Some characteristics of WEKO Neo. So, like all other WEKO fluid application system, this is also contact free. So, when it is contact free, there is no tailing, no bath contamination. It's better to say that we developed this WEKO Neo keeping in mind that we want to save the denim production industry much better way. So it is specially designed to serve denim industry either in slasher dyeing or in functional finishing application before stained. So the contact-free application we have explained, then even application due to a four-level shifted spray. So there are a spray shifting technology which is four-level shifted, so this is not giving a center side variation. Adjustable penetration level. So in denim yarn dyeing, we know that we always want to have a very good ring dyeing effect. So to generate that, you can decide how much you penetrate into the yarn surface. So that's why you can get a very good ring dyeing effect. Wide variety of process and application. Non-stop batch changeover. This is a dream in any textile dyeing or finishing process. Each stoppage is always generating some waste, the material waste as well as the chemical waste. With WEKO Neo, you can do your batch change in a running machine with very, very nominal waste generation in terms of material or chemical. In a stainer, you can increase your speed to a very high extent. That means you can reduce your weight pickup percentage from 80% to 20% with the same effect that you want to achieve for. And when you are reducing the pickup, the machine speed is increasing. That's why we say that you can run your standard as high as 100 meter per minute speed. We can also have a WEKO single passage technology. If you want to have an application, say like application of fluorocarbon for the water repellency, you want only in the outer surface of the fabric, then you use the WEKO single passage technology, apply only in the one side, and that side will be hydrophobic and the inner side of the fabric will be hydrophilic, which is very comfortable to wear. Then I can also say that lower pickup always helps to save the energy. So there is a calculation that per hour energy consumption for a standard is 15 kilowatt, where you can easily reduce that by increasing your production speed. With WEKO Neo, in conventional textile, in bottom weights, in shirting, in furnishing fabric finishing, or in denim finishing, we can apply various type of um, finishing application. The best and most popular is hand fill modification, that is softening. The any type of silicone or fatty acid softeners can be very easily sprayed onto the material by WEKO, any type of WEKO spraying system. Application of hydrophobic agent, soil repellent, soil release hydrophilic agent, color fixation, suavity improver, resin and flat finish, easy care finish, improving the luster of the bleached fabric or super dark color fabric, then anti-static, antimicrobial, and finally the antiviral. As of today, when whole world is suffering with this huge pandemic of COVID-19, we all are thinking how to protect the life of the people. And we found that with our WEKO system, we can spray antiviral chemistry very successfully with minimum application, and just by applying a 20% of antiviral chemistry, we can get 99% of viral protection. Thanks to our uh, partner, Polygen Corporation, for a wonderful chemistry that they produced and marketed for.
So let's discuss the innovation at work in textile application with the WEKO systems. Considering Sigma and Former systems, which are mostly in the moisturizing or moistening of textiles, for example, in the compressive shrinking and sulfurizing processes. So the process to fix a dimension stability of textiles is compacting, compressive shrinking, or sulfurizing. For all shrinking methods, the WEKO rotor carrier is fitted and fed at the end of the machine. So this rotor carrier can be placed, for example, in this process here before the next process step. So you always have to have a vertical running web in a vertical position, that the spray can be horizontal in a 90-degree angle onto the web. According to several surveys, the steam system can only supply a low amount of moisture, whilst the WEKO system can provide up to 16% or even more. So the steam penetration can be even increased. The WEKO moistening improves so steam penetration to provide a stable shrinking process. Also, it is set at the calendaring process, which means that it is a finishing process used on textiles which are passed between calender rollers at high temperature and pressure. The calender effect is to increase the density of the fabric, effects on luster, smoothest hand feel, and optical appearance of the fabric. The moistening prior to the calendering facilitates a higher luster and a better hand. So here you can see the effect before calendering and the effect after calendering. Also, the systems are used in an inlet festoon steamer at reactive printing process, but it can be also used in a reactive dyeing process because we have set here the rotor carrier and the spray before the steamer, and so the steam can penetrate even better and even more. The application is pure water, and the spraying at the unprinted side with water is sufficient to guarantee simultaneous fixation of the dye molecules, and the moisture content of the fabric must be absolutely uniform, and this is what the WEKO spray system do. So in printing process you can save urea and alkali for reactive one-phase printing, and in the same way also for reactive dye. Last but not least, I like to show the remoistening after drying in stanter frames. So after curing, fabrics are remoistened to restore their natural water content and to improve antistatic properties at polyester fabrics, for example. Knitted goods are often sold by weight. This is a quite important point because then the fabric is remoistened to the natural humidity. The quality and profit can be increased. The customer will obtain fabric with optimum moisture content, and no conditioning or cooling where in the warehouse is needed. But with the finishing, in the finishing department, we set the systems especially for functional finishing at stanter frame, means at the inlet of the stanter frame. When having wet on wet finishing, then the advantage is that no migration of the liquid takes place. There is no bath contamination because of the contactless application, no need of continuous bath feeding to maintain the concentration because what is in the tank is supplied to the rotor carrier and is sprayed out. The remaining liquid is refeeded again and is reused. So there is no contamination of any fabric. This saves time and money. Wet on dry finishing, only the quantity needed is applied. So we have no squeezing. We only apply the liquid that is really needed, not to overfeed the fabric. Smaller application amounts require less drying. This saves time and money. So the result is higher productivity output because the stanter can run more fast.
As we explained earlier, that the development of WEKO Neo was specifically made to serve the denim industries. So there was a lot of dreams, and we made the dreams as a reality. And what we can do today, and we are doing today, we are using WEKO Neo in slasher dyeing range and also in functional finishing application. Now, how we are using in slasher dyeing range? So what was our aim? Our aim to apply the dyes, mostly and specifically the sulfur dyes or the raw or indigo dyed yarn by contact-free WEKO spray system. So raw yarn means when we are doing the wet on dry yarn, then it's a raw yarn, and when we are doing the topping, then it's a wet on wet application. To replace dyeing and the topping box on slasher dyeing ranges. So if we do not do a uh, conventional padding and squeezing system, we don't need the topping box or the bottoming box. So we can use that the rotor carrier WEKO Neo, and we can replace the boxes. Create new and different fashion effects. How we can do? We can do very different way of dyeing. We have already done in the slasher yarn dyeing range. We sprayed two different colors in two different side of the yarn and making a camouflage. and you can get a wide variety of wash down from such type of a dyeing technology, which is impossible to do by a conventional squeezing and padding method. The benefits of WEKO Neo: varieties of over dyeing effect, single or double sided, which I mentioned just right now, as well as different colors on one side. No tailing. So normally in a conventional process, we know that when we are using a padding system, the yarn is going into the padding liquor, and it takes quite some time to get an equilibrium in the chemistry inside the bath. Normally, everybody can say and has to agree with me that you take 1 to 2 hours to get this equilibrium in your bath, and during this 1 to 2 hours of production you are getting a tailing. Here the material is not coming in the contact of the liquor, so from the 0 meter or from the 1 meter you are getting a stable shade. So whatever you spray, it goes to the yarn, so there is no waiting for 1 or 2 hours. That means 2000 to 4000 meter of shade variation or tailing. We can forget about it. Saving of dye boxes, like I explained before, and uh, have a look at our handout. You can see much more if you go to a handout, or you can go to our website. Now, this is a real example of a yarn dyeing done with WEKO Neo. So here the topping is done using WEKO Neo, and you can see a perfect and accurate ring dyeing. And as we all explained before, that you can control the penetration level according to your need, according to the washer who washes your garments, according to the demand of the market, demand of the retailers, and demand of the brands. So that's up to your hand. In a very short running length, you can change your penetration level. You can make different type of penetration required for different type of end use, different type of end wash requirement. And the most interesting thing is that which we have mentioned, that you can do a non-stop changeover in topping or bottoming. This is a dream in today's market. When the order size is going down, the retailers or the brands or the small fab garment manufacturers are not demanding or ordering 40 50,000 meters of same shade or same article. When the order quantity is going down below 5,000 meter, sometimes even it ends at 500 to 1000 meter, then there is a huge waste if you want to take this order and deliver to the market. So you can forget this thing. You can change your topping or bottoming at running machine. I can say that normally when you are stopping your machine for a changeover, you are either making a second choice generation of 500 meter, or you are wasting 500 meter of the yarn. In the changeover with WEKO, you can do it in a running machine in 1 to 2 minutes. If you have a 25 meter per minute speed, then you are wasting maximum 50 meters. As we explained, there is no tailing. We can improve the fastness. We can reduce the reddishness of the indigo and sulfur dyeing, less number of dye bath required, stable and precise production, minimum waste, and reduced energy. Applications are in topping, in bottoming, in color denim, in black denim, fixation, oxidation with hydrogen peroxide, or whatever you want. Here I can introduce one thing that We are working hard, and our aim to bring WEKO Neo in a very sustainable way of indigo dyeing in slasher dyeing range in near future. Wait and watch how WEKO progress in this matter. So, what I was saying that now we can say that some fashion effect. Here you can see that we can do some single side over dyeing or tinting. You don't need to do a uh, coating for that. And normally there are a lot of retailers and top brands who are asking for a denim look in the backside of the fabric, which should be uh, white twill lines visible, which is impossible if you are going for a pad steam oxidation fixation type of over dyeing. In your finishing range in CDR or your pad steam, instead of padding, if you use WEKO Neo, you can spray the dye stuff only in one side of the fabric. The back side of the fabric will remain as good as a uh, normal denim fabric. So you can change the look of your front side. So the wash down will be changed, but the back side will remain the same like a conventional denim fabric. The same thing is that instead you do not disturb the indigo look of the front side and you spray in the back side of the fabric, thus changing the color of the back side, and this can bring fashion in your end product, like the fold of your jeans, or the pockets if they are used in the this they are used in the uh, front side down, or in the jackets like we are showing here, that where you can have the look inside of the jacket in another color and the outside is pure indigo. We explained before and we are explaining again that with WEKO Neo, together with all other type of functional finishing application, you can use WEKO Neo very successfully for the virus protection, and we can successfully demand, and we've proved that using WEKO spray application system, we can get 99% virus protection with only 20% pickup.
So finally, we like to thank you listening to our webinar today. My colleague Jayanta Sanyal, Head of Technical Sales and Processes, and me, Caroline Roos, Product Manager for Textile and Nonwoven. Thank you very much for listening. Our contact details you find here on the slide, and we are very grateful to help you, to support you, and please feel free to contact us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.